I learnt to sew on a sewing machine at an early age. I just like the feel of fabric. I like the feel of threads. I've always sort of been a stitcher, really, yeah. And we lived on a farm out of Hamilton, so it was a trip to go to town. And television was only just coming in, and so you had to do other things. If you wanted new clothes, you just had to make them. And I can distinctly remember the Singer sewing machine that I had to learn to use. My mother wasn't particularly good at sewing, but she was a knitter, and I tried knitting, but I'm a stitcher, really, by heart. My name is Morva Thomson, and I'm working as a nurse at Gisborne Hospital. I work pretty much full time, so I have a bit of time to do things in my little she shed. I initially started in a shared space where I used to live before, and it was the computer room for the children, and it was a spare room, and it was just the everything room, and you just can't do textile work in a space like that. Textile work is by its nature messy. You have to audition things. You want to use a particular fabric or a thread, and you need to look at about 50 of them to find out which one's going to work or not work, and you want to spread things out, and that's the biggest thing having a space is you don't want to put it away all the time. And if you are working inside a family setting, you're forever having to put the dash things away, and that breaks your train of thought, and you know. I go to second-hand shops and I find things, and I can make the most amazing materials out of what people throw away. You know, people think, oh, that's useless, can't do anything with that, but you can. Well, I can. I can actually turn these beautiful colours into the most amazing fabrics. I sold a piece at the museum exhibition, and it was a series of panels just made with colours. There was a blue one, a green one, a gold one, a brown one, a red one, just chained together, and it actually looked beautiful. And it was just making my own fabric, and the fabric it's put onto a piece of felt, but it's lots of this is there's paper, there's fabric, there's painting, there's printing, found objects, and I've been to India twice. This was my second time, and I've rediscovered all the things I'd bought. So these were little, a necklace that I bought at the time. There was a guru who was around. I didn't get involved with the guru, but I did like his beads, so that is on there. So this is sort of like a little bit of what I remember. Friend of mine who basically started the Gisborne She Shed movement, which was Cheryl, she has this uncanny knack of just sort of coming up with some quite interesting ideas, and she said, oh, there are so many of you that do really interesting things, and you've got lovely spaces, and would you be interested in us making a little book that we can all have as a memento of who we are? And I thought it was such a good idea, and totally agreed with that. It's funny, you tend to think of other areas being the arty crafty areas, like you always hear about Nelson because they've got a huge import of European people who blow glass and do all sorts of things. And that's what I think with the book, was the eye-opening of, my goodness, there are so many people here that actually, you just don't hear about it, that do amazing things. I'm not a mass producer. Textile work takes time, but I just love meeting the people and encouraging them, because people often say, oh, I've got a little space that I didn't think about it, and it's sort of just encouraging them and having their own space. Yeah, it's great having your own space. This is my happy place. It's when I'm not at work, it's like, oh, my friends know now not to actually knock at the door. They come down to here first.